Welcome, everybody, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. I'm Karis, and joining me today, it's Heroes at School.
Hello, people.
So, the Legendary Cup, for those who don't know, is where the top teams from Divisions 2 and 3 of Heroes Lounge come together in our playoffs. And they've gone through the group stages, 16 teams. That's been narrowed down to 8. And today those 8 teams will go head-to-head in a knockout tournament, concluding with the grand final later today. Heroes at School is looking like it's going to be an exciting matchup, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's hard to tell. We know we have like 2 divisions, but if we go up to the knockout stage, you probably can tell that, I guess, all the teams are approximately at the same level of skill. So I'm expecting some close matches today, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be just an exciting day. We are in for what might be called a long haul, because we are going to be your casters for the whole day. So forgive us if our voices disappear by the end. But we'll see.
If we get some good games, we will have the energy all the way through. But
yeah. So if we run out of energy,
it's a task for us.
The players' fault. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, no, and I'm still pretty fresh, so really looking forward for the first match.
So am I. I mean, so one of the things, so the first match, just for those who don't know, is Diaz versus Team snOr, and one of the things that we saw at the draw show, the playoff draw show, was we had a viewer poll on who we thought would win, on who viewers thought would win the overall Legendary Cup. Now, some of those teams have been knocked out since, but Team snOr placed second highest in that poll. The first highest was Donna Fedora's, who we'll see later today, I'm sure. But Team snOr, with 12% of the vote, and on the other hand, Diaz were only getting 5.2% of the vote back in, I don't know, that was 3-4 weeks ago on the draw show. So at the time, definitely the viewers' favourite was Team snOr. I mean, do you think that's still the case?
I mean, I guess you have to really put the role of the favorite here on Team snOr, as they won the Division 2 in the regular season. They finished first there. And we do have the Deers coming up from Division 3, so basically you might say that they are the favorite. But, you know, I've seen bigger surprises than that in Heroes Lounge already, so not so sure about that yet.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to run another poll, ladies and gentlemen. Another poll, the traditional Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup poll, which has been going on for, I would say, over 20 seconds now. So what you can do is you can vote using the options that you will see on screen in just a second. Vote for who you think will win the whole Legendary Cup today. You just type the number for the team that's on screen now, and so you can see you type 1 for Team snOr, 2 for Northern Exposure, etc., etc. The first 2 teams we're seeing are Diaz, which is number 8 there, and Team snOr, which is number 1. I mean, so you can vote for any team right now, and there's no prizes for getting it right. It's just for fun to see who the viewers think will win. So get your votes in there. This poll will be running for the next hour or 2. So there's still plenty of time, but get those votes in. So the first match, Heroes at School, the first quarter final, is going to be a best of 3. What can we expect between these 2 teams?
Well, the map is already decided, so for the first match at least. It looks like we're going on Infernal Shrines, so basically we can tell probably a lot of what we can expect after this match, because I think Infernal Shrines already gives you a lot of information about macro and micro likewise. But to be honest with you, I think I haven't seen either team in the regular season, so I'm actually completely open to any information they're gonna give me in the first match. I can't tell yet too much about them. Did you see any of their games?
I've actually or not that I remember, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know what we should expect from these teams, but I know that, as you say, we are going to go to Infernal Shrines. I think it doesn't really tell us too much specifically about the teams just picking Infernal Shrines, because that is the most commonly picked map in Heroes Lounge, and I think teams like it as a kind of gentle introduction to the match. You know, it's not too strange of a map. You know, teams tend to play it fairly ordinarily. I'll just show up on screen for viewers the map bands as well, so they can see, you know, how it is that we're choosing Infernal Shrines. So teams, as you can see, Dia's banned Garden of Terror and Sky Temple, and Team snOr banned Alterac Pass and Dragonshire. And then Infernal Shrines, as you pointed out, picked up there by Dia's.
Yeah, and I mean, like in general, if we're still looking like what can we expect from this matchup, we do have actually from the regular season, we are actually watching first place from Division 2 against ninth place from Division 3. So you might really think that we might see a clear victory here for Team snOr, but to be honest with you, it's like I got the feeling myself when I played in the knockout stage or in the finals. I never played in the knockout stage anyway, but you know, like in the playoffs, there's a different rule set. Feels like it. So I think we can maybe forget that, and you know, like nerves coming in and everything gets a little bit different. So we might actually see the surprise coming here. I would like to see a close match. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Team snOr can really fulfill the role of the favorite they do have in it.
Yeah, I think definitely Diaz are going to feel a little bit under pressure, but that's not to say that they've got no chance at all. I think they're in with as decent a chance as any team, and of course, as you say, Team snOr probably the favorite, and we saw that with the poll figures from the draw show. By the way, for viewers who maybe can't see this on screen, but there's also a bet going on right now for who will win the first game. So much viewer interaction at once. I was not expecting the betting so soon. But you can type !bet A.
We're not ready yet.
And a number of points to bet on Diaz, and an !bet B, and a number of points to bet on Team snOr. And it looks like most of the bets so far have been on Team snOr from what I've seen. But it's still a couple of minutes in to get your bets there. And there you can win points, virtual points on the channel, which also do nothing, to be honest. But it's good, clean fun here on Heroes Lounge. Like I say, don't forget to vote in the poll, but we are going to go into the draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 quarterfinal. So, Infernal Shrines. What kind of heroes are we expecting to get priority here?
It's on Infernal Shrines. I think you do have like certain heroes that are especially strong there, like Alex Strasser, a good, very strong support with the Dragon Lady. You can secure the shrine, the objective, just by itself. I personally favor Sylvanas a lot on Infernal Shrines, because if you do get that John Cena coming in for your team, you can make it really work. You get maybe even an early keep with her. And yeah, certainly my absolute favorite on Infernal Shrines is Diablo. I think he went a little bit out of the meta, but you know, all these walls, all these bushes and narrow paths, those are dreamland for Diablo players. So maybe we're gonna see some of them here.
Yeah, I mean that seems like he's still prioritized quite highly in competitive play, even if, as you say, in Storm League, he's not really considered as strong. I think here on Infernal Shrines in particular as well, because of the map geometry, he's so good at those kind of wall charges. The Earl of Sandwich delivering the wall sandwich, as it's sometimes known. So we may well see that soon. So Rhaegar banned because he's probably the best. Yes, I just read your message there. You're right.
Oh well.
So I will sort that out. We have left. We've. Sorry about that. We're going to go back to my face. We were in just Rhaegar ban is not the right thing. So, minor technical hitch there, so we'll get we'll get the thing up and running soon enough. But yes, so Diablo might get prioritized. What was I saying? Yes, Diablo get prioritized. I also think you probably see like focus on shrine clear. Like I was talking about a Rhaegar ban there, but that's not the case. So don't count on the Rhaegar ban. Viewers, that was something completely different. Smooth, but the
Sorry for a moment there. I think we do have some technical issues for a moment, don't we?
we do have some technical issues, but you can still vote in the poll on screen. That's all Gucci. I will get us in the right place soon enough. But what was I saying?
Well, wait a moment. Am I in the wrong lobby or are you? Or were you?
I was, but I think
because my lobby, and I think I was in the right one, actually started the match, and I think we might have to restart them, isn't it?
Ideally, yes. If you can, that would be ideal. But if not, then I'll join after draft. But while we do, you can tell us what's going on in the draft.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could tell you we do have bans against Vala Alara Gul'dan from the side of Deers, and bans against Garrosh and ETC so far from the side of. Okay, so they decided now to finish the draft and then restart with the same draft.
Okay, that's good.
So
news.
I'm going to take you blindly through the draft. So actually, a lot of stuff already happened. We do have picks from Hanzo and Chen for the side of Deers, and Greymane, Johanna, and Rhaegar on the side of Team snOr. And now we got coming in Kalthas and Anduin. Actually, no Diablo picked yet, so that's kind of interesting to see. But the main tank is still missing on the side of the team. Oh, that's so hard to do without the overlay. On the side of Deers.
On the right.
Okay, finish draft and then restart.
Okay, so you're saying Rhaegar banned. Sorry, you tell us the band.
Yeah. Okay. So the draft for the Team snOr is actually finished. They're gonna play with Johanna, Greymane, Rhaegar, Jaina, and Irel. And on the other side, we have a finish now as well. They play with Mal'Ganis, Chen, Anduin, Kalthas, and Hansa. So I actually feel two very strong drafts. For the moment, we might have a little bit of a better wave clear, or especially camp clear on the side of Team snOr here, which might help them with the camps. So Chad is asking if they get a radio match. That would be something new for me as well. Like I could like try this, but that's gonna be a lot of talking. No, so we aborted the lobby now. You could join us.
Yes, and, I'm going to do that momentarily.
Boom. There we go. Okay. So looks better now. We can restart the draft and then we can maybe talk through it again. Because I don't think you could have kept every hero in mind that I just talked.
Not quite. So I think we are going to get the draft sort of run through quickly so viewers can see shortly.
Yeah.
That's going to be good fun. But I mean, what were the distinguishing features of the draft that you've seen so far?
Well, I kind of, because I was dealing with the technical issue here at the same time, I kind of missed the sequence of the draft. But we saw a really high priority on Hanzo. He was first pick on the side of Deers. And then on the other side, we had a high priority on Johanna. And I get that. Johanna is pretty strong on Infernal Shrines, especially on the shrines themselves. So no priority on the Diablo, who is better for engages on the enemy team, but more focus on the objective here from both teams, actually. So yeah, there we go with the same draft. So we saw the Garrosh and the Vala ban. And Vala is interesting to me because I think there are, especially in the higher ranks, there are many teams that feel her like first pick, first ban material. But in general, I don't feel that in lower divisions. I think she's still pretty squishy, although she got her health buff. And especially on Inferno Shrines, I'm surprised to see that ban.
Yeah, I think the Valor ban is may well be targeted at someone. So I'm not too surprised by that. The Alarak, of course, is fairly standard in Storm League in particular. I think in the high-level competitive, he's not so sought after.
Yeah.
Gul'dan is focusing on that Shrine clear ban, which makes a lot of sense there as well.
Yeah, so AoE damage coming in. Hanzo and Kalphas is so good for the race. Even from afar, they can clear the shrines so fast. And on the other side, we do have Jaina and Crymane and Johanna, not too shabby either, in that perspective. So yeah, it's interesting to see that both teams actually focus on the objective, and that's not so much on a good team fight setup. Although both teams do have pretty well setups for team fights as well, but it's not like that single target blow up compilation. I don't see that from either side here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's more. I mean, the Jaina and Greymane will be single target blow up, but there's not really the lockdown to set that up. I think so. That's not. That maybe won't get so.
Maybe they can isolate with the IRL and then get a target down with the damage dealer that you talked about, like Jaina and Rhaegar, not Rhaegar, Greymane, the other wolf. But yeah, if they get a good engage with the Johanna Blessed Shield and then it's slow from a Rhaegar, and one target might have difficult to escape there. But on the other side, we do see Anduin to exactly counter that at least once with his trade. So both tanks actually, like here Chen and Mal'Ganis, can be kind of aggressive as long as they know that they do have this leap of faith still backing them up. So yeah, interesting. So who would you favor from this draft?
You know what? My gut feeling is to always favor a draft with Mal'Ganis because I just think he's such a devastating tank and he gets a bit underestimated. Oh, but we don't have time as we're going to go after something. Finally into game number 1 in the first quarter-final of the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. On the left, in blue, it's Diaz with Mai on Shen, Pwoki on Anduin, Sephiroth on that Mal'Ganis who we just talked about, Gaben on the Kael'thas, and Juni on Hanzo.
Okay, so if we already look here at the talents, we see a talent on Anduin that is actually not picked too often these days. Bold strategy. I think these days you usually go more for a renew, and especially with Johanna and Arel, I think that would have been enough targets to trigger off that renew every time. So kind of surprised by that. Apart from that, yeah, it's standard Q build for the Hanzo, and of course we do have Mana Edict. And on the other side as well, I don't see any too bigger surprises. Loss of Hope is kind of interesting, but yeah, nothing too surprising so far.
I mean, that cheeky rotation was a little bit surprising from Team snOr, just putting immediate pressure on that top lane, because, of course, that's where that first Punisher is spawning. I don't think they knew that, by the way, when they did it, but that's going to get value, because that first Punisher will go to the top lane if, of course, Team snOr can win that Punisher, which, of course, remains to be seen. So both teams are just going to get back to a normal rotation now and start soaking with Arel versus Chen in the Immortal solo lane, let's say, at the top.
Yeah, so after, yeah, like you said, the strange start, we do have like a normal rotation coming in with the 2 solo laners on the top lane and the 4-man rotation between mid and bot lane. And yeah, like there's kind of dangerous here from the Kael'thas, just a little step too far and he gets slowed, but Greymane was slapped from the Mal'Ganis. Nice disengage from him here there.
Yeah, lovely peel for the Mal'Ganis. That's one of the reasons I like Mal'Ganis as a tank, and I think he's such a devastating force. He's just got so much CC. He's got the swipes and the sleep, and that is just enough to control engages and also to set up engages for his own team when necessary.
Yeah, there's a sleep against Jaina, but not enough damage dealers here to back it up. and now they have to retreat. First camp actually is taken, and I talked about this, like with the Greymane and the Rega, they do have such a fast camp clear here. So they get the first neutral camp at the bot lane in their hands, and now go for their own safe siege camp.
Yeah, so Team snOr definitely going to be prioritizing those camps with the double wolf, as you say, the wolf pack. And so, having done the siege in the mid, I suspect they might get that bruiser camp rolling in the top lane, even though, of course, the Punisher's there, so it's not as much value as maybe on if the Punisher was in a different lane. But it's still just a bit of lane pressure, gives them a bit of space to work with when they're going for that shrine. Level 4 talents are in. I mean, so one of the juicy things is Joanna going for that Eternal Retaliation at level 4, which gives her so many condemns. Oh, Sephiroth, have you been caught out a little bit here? Gets the sleep off onto 3 members. Can he swipe himself out of there? I'm not sure he can in time. Swipe, swipe. Just about gets away. Nice escape from Sephiroth there on 400 HP.
Yeah, actually, this felt like they could have gotten him, but maybe they, like, it didn't feel like they went with the full commitment in. You were just talking about the Eternal Retaliation, and I'm really surprised by Eternal Retaliation. I get the idea of more Ws, but I think for the better wave clear that bonus damage on the E is a really needed talent there. For me, feels like. But maybe they felt like they need even more peel and for better sustain fights with the cooldown reduction on the W.
Yeah, so I think the E bonus damage does better overall damage. But I think the idea of this condemn is going to provide continuous disruption because on those shrines, it's just going to have condemn up so often.
Yeah, sure.
Starts going in, trying to create a bit of space. So a lot of damage already though, and because of the Laws of Hope, her Iron Skin shield is not so big and it's already been blown up. And the Living Bomb forcing Joanna back there.
Yeah, so, and actually you could already tell, like, oh, there's an engage coming in from the Morganis, but the disengage with the Blizzard actually zoning out for their team, but the team of snOr, Team snOr is actually dropping lower and lower, and they have to retreat for the moment. Race is still on around the objective, but it looks like we might see a head start now for the side of Deers. And they actually get a good engage in the backline on the Kalthas, but now they have to retreat themselves as Kalthas survived the attack. Now they can launch an attack on the Jaina themselves. And it's finally Team Deers who is on the retreat from the objective, but they are only missing 5 more minions here.
Yeah, so they just have to get Kalthas to throw in some flame strikes and finish this off, but presumably Joanna and Irel are going to try and do a zoning job here. Chen goes in, puts enough pressure onto Irel. Irel has to start thinking about jumping out, brings the Living Bomb in though, and that's what finishes off the Punisher for Team Deers there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see a flame strike targeted to the enemy's heroes when you do have only 4 more minions missing, but it worked out in the end for them, and they almost got the kill on the Irel as well there.
Yeah, and Irel did get away, but of course that means she's not here to help clear this Punisher. I think with 3 members here, there's no real threat to the fort from the Punisher. Punisher's already gone down. In fact, Sephiroth's got to be careful. Sensibly gets himself out of there with a Night Rush. In the meantime, of course, Irel and Chen just casually soaking the other lanes. Chen seems to be getting the edge of that there and has got a bit of push pressure onto those bottom towers. Level 7 talents are in. Chen going for the Elusive Brawler at level 7. Fairly ordinary, particularly against auto attack threat from Greymane.
Yes, of course it's gonna help him a lot against like heroes like Greymane. But to be honest with you, I'm even more surprised by Subdue. I mean, is that... Oh, first let me catch that kill on Anduin as he got caught out and finished by the Greymane there. But Subdue, is that like... I mean, it's hitting 2 or more heroes at the same time. Hit 4 or more heroes at the same time with Punish. I don't see that happen. Oh, I guess when we do have Earth, Wind, and Fire, we might have a chance to see that come in. But until then, it's...
You do see a lot of teams picking Subdue just because even if you don't ever get the stack on it, it's still good just when you hit 2 or more heroes. It's just continuous slow value. There's just so much slow. It is like walking in treacle. And I think that's probably the idea. And as you pointed out, of course, when the Chen comes in, if there's another hero standing next to him, that's a free stack, basically. If those 3 Chens are there, that stacks your Subdue pretty easily. And once you've got it stacked, again, it's like an 80% slow for the rest of the game. That's really unpleasant to deal with. So that's probably the idea there from Joanna. As level 10s have rolled in here for Team snOr, who are looking pretty far ahead in the XP game.
And we actually still see Zephyro going for an engage kind of there. I think if they knew that he would come out there, they could have gotten him immediately with an ultimate combination there. By the way, it's gonna be the Cursed Bullet, just to blow up that heavy front line of Chen and Mal'Ganis maybe at some point, to have a free run into the backline. And we do actually see the Water Elemental, which is kind of surprising to me a little bit. It might help her against the engages that she found on herself so far, so she can maybe delay some of the attackers on her.
Yep. Zephyro goes in with this Night Rush, must be a bit cautious. Yeah, so the ults that have come in from Diaz, we've got the Boogie Wonderland, the Storm, Earth and Fire from Chen, Holy Word Salvation from Anduin. I will talk about that in just a second. The Dark Conversion from Mal'Ganis, which again, a very spicy pick. And of course, Phoenix and Hanzo Arrow are fairly standard. But so two things stand out there: the Dark Conversion from Mal'Ganis and the Holy Word Salvation from Anduin. Now, we were just talking about how Joanna's always going to have Condemn up on those shrines because of their reset on level 4.
Yeah, I doubt the value of Salvation here as well. And you do have like a good and strong engage here on the side of Mal'Ganis, or even better on Chen, who can really jump in at any point that he wants to with his flying kick. So I think there might have been some good targets for Light Bomb.
By the way, the Dark Conversion already got value. I don't know if you saw, Zephyro was getting jumped a bit, and then he just Dark Conversioned onto Greymane and completely swapped health round. So, you know, immediate value despite it being a slightly surprising pick.
Nice leap of faith here from the Anduin. What a good save. And now the arrow coming back in. And they get the kill against Jaina in the backline with the Earth, Wind and Fire. And the Ancestral on Rhaegar himself is not coming through, so he falls as well. And that is very well fought from the Deers. Every side, every member of their team performed pretty well there. Hanzo dropping low, but getting safe with the leap of faith, and then the counter-attack run perfectly with the Chen in the back line, and the finish against the Rhaegar.
Yeah, and with that, Deers are going to secure their second objective of this game. I mean, you know, we said they're coming into this as the underdogs. I tell you what, they don't feel like it right now. Yes, they've been behind on XP soaking mostly, but in terms of actual shrine fights, they're looking pretty confident. And Mal'Ganis is going in looking for a swipe onto Joanna. Maybe they can catch Joanna here with the Iron Skin.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see the trade pull off once the John Cena is jumping in. I guess that's kind of one of the bonuses on Infernal Shrines of Joanna, that you can easily pull over a John Cena here. And now he's actually jumping on Irvin, but he's getting cleansed from his fellow wolf friend. And they're getting lower and lower Ancestral Healing coming in on a Johanna as she needed it, but that Mal'Ganis is really pesky there in the front line. And now we do have a 5 against 4 situation as Jorel was coming bow, and they get the Mal'Ganis first. What a good kill there, what a nice rotation coming in, good macro management here.
Kael'thas has to be careful here. No, even the save from Anduin can't stop him from dying. Maybe Anduin's next to fall, 180 HP. Lovely healing wave comes back and just tops him up, but I mean...
Even saved by the Dragon's Arrow there from Hanzo, so going for the safe route to just disengage with the arrow.
Yeah, both teams used basically all their heroics except for the Anduin and the Arel. Like the Holy Word Salvation was not used, but yeah, I mean, and basically a fight over what I would call nothing. Like the fort was already gone, and you know Mal'Ganis was hungry for that Joanna. That didn't quite pay off because of the Ancestral Healing, and then it was just kind of a turnaround and punishing Diaz for going a little bit too aggressively there, and they paid a bit of a price.
So chat is wishing us to talk a little bit less on talents during the team fights. It's hard to tell actually between, and that's the thing I wanted to talk about anyway. Like it's hard to tell when a team fight is coming up because both teams like casually walk around each other, and all of a sudden the team fight's happening. So that might be the reason why, but for sure I guess we're gonna focus on the team fight once it's going down.
Yeah, we definitely will focus on those team fights, and I think we've managed to cover them all so far. Icy Veins from Jaina at level 13, so really going for a lot of burst damage and combining that with a Greymane. If there's a Blessed Shield engage, maybe they really are going for that single target blow up. You know, and we were saying neither team looks too focused on that, but if they can blow up anyone except Mal'Ganis or Chen, basically, it'll be pretty effective. But there's a fight kicking off now. Mal'Ganis starts to swipe, looking for Erwin's Greymane, but Erwin's Greymane might have got out of here. The Night Rush isn't available to stop him from running away. Kael'thas come too deep looking for trouble, but Anduin saves it. And now the Water Elemental is starting to get value for Jaina.
Yeah, and actually we see them still going after them. Nice save again with the Leap of Faith against Kalthas. And I guess you talked about it. If we do have kind of a burst, like single target blow-up combination for Team snOr here, but if they don't get that, I think they really have to retreat from the team fights. I think the longer team fights will be in favor of the Deers here, as we've already seen twice.
Yeah, because for one reason for that is don't forget the Dark Conversion cooldown is only 80 seconds. It's not that huge, so he can use it, you know, fairly impulsively if he's in even the slightest bit of trouble, or to cause a bit of trouble for the enemy team. And definitely, you know, we don't see that heroic a lot. Usually you see the Carrion Swarm, but it seems to be working out well for Sephiroth and Mal'Ganis here. Oh, that gravity lapse was absolutely cheeky from Kael'thas there, just about blocking Irel from jumping in. And are they going to fight here? Both teams lining up with their
actually
camps.
A close call. So we do have control over the top lane for the side of Team snOr, which is actually helping with their objectives. So they immediately try to use the time that they do still have their camp up. And they know that the Team Deers has to deal with that. So they try to use the time and get a head start of roughly 15 to 20 minions here.
Yeah, and the thing is, Sephiroth starts going in. He's gone in pretty deep. He's got the swipes, catches onto Jaina. She's got to start retreating, but her water elemental's out. Oh, the Hanzo arrow just about misses. And now maybe this is a potential counter-engage from Team snOr as Emperor starts going in, looking to zone people, and the water elemental still doing work, but the Dark Conversion comes out.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire is pulled off, and they actually try to refocus there. There's another focus on the Jaina in the backline, and she gets away from him. And with the Blessed Shield, she's kind of safe. She's batting away with 180 HP. And then we have the first use of Holy Word Salvation, and it's not interrupted, so Hanzo lives for another day. And now they try to refocus the game. This fight is actually going back and forth. Both AoE spells miss a lot. Irel is chopping low, but it's Sephiroth, Chen, that falls first here on the side of the Team Deers, and Irel is actually jumping back in with only 500 HP, and Johanna is still in the front line there, but she has a trade up, so she can retreat, and we only got one kill after this, I think, 30-second team fight, which was going back and forth like crazy.
How did Irel live through that? Like, Irel seemed to be on 10% HP for about 30 seconds there, just going in and out, and just about playing the limits of the hero. Great play from Rathaloi there, but it looks like Deers have to give this shrine over and step back as a result of that. Great play. I love that they managed to disengage so successfully from the channel, because that's always the challenge, isn't it? Is the Boogie one.
Yeah, and we actually saw, and I guess that is gonna be a big game changer coming in the use of the ice block of the Jaina, because they did have the idea of the focus on the target of Jaina once they get the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that worked for them in the last team fight. But now with the ice block, Jaina has kind of an answer to that, and she can pull off the water elemental in the time, and they actually got the kill against Chen before Jaina fell, and I guess that was key in this team fight.
Yeah, I think that's the crucial thing, is because normally that Chen running around can be so devastating for those backliners, and we saw Jaina do a perfect job of kiting. And as by the way, Jaina not taking the shield talent at level 13, instead going for, like we said, Icy Veins, and that means that, it's Sephiroth going in again. They're going for it. The Hanzo arrow comes, it misses everybody though. Sephiroth uses the Dark Conversion to try and put a bit of pressure onto Jaina, trying to control the members of the backline so that the rest of his team can catch onto Johanna, but I'm not sure it's going to quite work out for them. And as Chen manages to pop the Boogie Wonderland, he's going in.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire is pulled, and again, same idea. They go for the Jaina, same answer with the ice block. Ancestral is healing the wolf, and now we do have Hanzo in a lot of isolated position, much isolated position there, and he actually falls there. And now they even get a free run on the Kalthas, and he might fall here as well. Yes, he sure does. Rega finishing him off there, I guess with the Storm Shield. So 2 kills for 0, and actually we finally got Team snOr kicking in with their skill that they are at, and with the better team fights at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, because we said earlier, like, if the team fights are long, that seems to favor Deers, but it's not working out like that. It seems like Team snOr are really good at kind of stretching this fight, pulling Mal'Ganis a little bit too far, and then when he has to start retreating, that's when they start punishing Chen, is when they start punishing Kael'thas. And you know, this is starting to look pretty good here for Team snOr, who were a little bit maybe on the back foot structurally, but in terms of these team fights, they seem to know very much what they're doing. They're looking control.
Yeah, and I guess one part we have to talk about as well is we actually saw 2 hands of arrow now missing completely, and that is actually a big change to our team fight as well. You might miss those stun times, and like it's a good follow up for Chen and gives you enough time to maybe set up a nice target and something like it. But yeah, we actually saw 2 arrows going wild here.
Yeah, I think I don't know what to give credit to that for. It seems like the structure, like the shape of the team fights from Team snoR's perspective, they know those Hanzo arrows are a threat. They know that Mal'Ganis swipes are a threat, so they're spreading out nicely and not letting Diaz get a nice juicy chunk engage onto them. So the good positioning there from Team snOr as they're still pushing here, looking for Chen. Can they get the kill before he can get his ult off? Yes, they can. Chen's good night. Now maybe they're going to get more, but Sephiroth goes in with a sleep to try and create a bit of space. But oh, he's been punished for that. Mal'Ganis is down as well. This looks a disaster here for Diaz as the Team snOr are so hungry here for kills.
Even with the Ardent Defender now, Irel is really up there in the backline, and she feels really comfortable. We do have a good disengage again from the Kalthas, who gets a lot of damage in, but the keep is down, and the question is, oh, we already have the first GGs coming in this 5 against 3 situation. It was a level 20 against 19 team fight, so that helps you a lot, but I guess they can't finish yet. And so they think as well, and they retreat, actually. So we do have an alone standing GG from Sephiroth coming in here. And actually, no GG yet.
Yeah, and by the way, that means Diaz can get level 20. That means they're still in the game. So a slightly premature GG calls by Mal'Ganis there. But and with the level 20s coming in, I think Diaz are completely still in this game. Like, yes, they're a keep down, but a keep down is just a keep. The problem is they've got to clear this top lane and contest the shrine. That's going to be very difficult for Diaz, and let's see how they approach it.
It's still a second until N1 comes here, and it looks like we have Team snOr like playing this straight till the end. They go for the camp, they go for the top camp for this bruiser camp, and they try to get any value out of there. And they are sitting at 35. They could poke this down, and if they have the John Cena, this might mean game as well. And now they are just on the retreat. But we do see Team Beers actually coming in. Oh, that arrow missing again, and that is still a good engage for them. We have Blind as a bad Mal'Ganis going in the backline, and they get the kill against Jaina and Rega, although they did have the ice block this time. And they actually look like they can win this fight. We have Hanzo in a lot of trouble, but there's the salvation, and this time it has a lot of value again. Never could have imagined that, but Sephiroth in a lot of trouble, and he falls on the other side, and they still get the Punisher Irel with the finish against the 5 minutes that they still needed. And we get the, although she sacrificed herself for it, but Hanzo is in a lot of trouble himself now. But he has his trade ready, and he jumps over the wall, but there's John Cena just waiting for him. Will he jump again? He might soon, and he might hit 2 targets.
Yeah, and by the way, if he catches Hanzo and Anduin, that could be game. This, however, it looks like he won't, and that means that Diaz lived to survive another day. Yet again, a great survival here from Diaz, and it's all down to that great engage, which you have to give most of the credit to Mal'Ganis for, and Chen, of course, going in so deep, Sephiroth and Mai there. And the Hanzo arrow, as you said, missed yet again. I should say it was more dodge because Jaina did a perfectly timed ice block to avoid getting hit by it.
100%, yes.
But yes, but the Mal'Ganis was like, no, I don't care that the Hanzo arrow is missed. I'm still going blind as a bat, chop, wah, 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 wah. And, and he just got so many stuns, and eventually that secured the overall fight and allowed Diaz